why would anybody want to climb Mount Everest? You have to do it with a Sherpa, and they're carrying most of your stuff. Where's the accomplishment? And you have to use so much equipment. It's like going for a hard run and feeling really sore and tired, but getting none of the benefits of actually having run.
Grocery store. So a while back, I sold my entire DVD collection because I thought it was just, everything was gonna come to streaming. Maybe I explained this before. But there's a few things I wanna have in my collection again. So I've been slowly thinking about actually reacquiring some discs. I made one of my first steps, Samurai Champloo. While not as good as Cowboy Bebop by a long shot, like at this point it's really nostalgic and the music is still just so good. Oh, Nujabes, a Rubarian dance, come on man, come on. I'd forgotten about some of the songs, like the ending song, really good. I totally forgot about that song. Transfer quality is okay. Obviously it's a 480p source being upscaled to 1080p. The good news is the money I sold the disc for initially probably covered the price of this, which was 30 bucks. Used to be just one of these discs was like $26. Man, last few days, sleeping like boo-boo. I really want to take a nap, but that's not gonna help my dilemma any. Time for a light run. Pretty much instantly feel better. Exercise is like the great resetter. It refreshes everything. Actually, sleep is really that, but when you didn't get a good night of sleep, exercise does sometimes kind of, you know, do the trick. For now though, I have to go return these to the library, but I haven't finished reading them yet. So I'm just gonna go to the library and read them and then return them as I finish them. So I got some stuff from B&H Photo, and there's some more stuff coming from Adorama tomorrow. Windscreens to go with another Behringer Ultra Voice XM8500. Just a super standard mic. Does the job, does the trick. Get it in your head and listen. It's like, this also doubles as a weapon. You need to beat somebody with something that looks like an ice cream cone. It's got you covered. Dude, when you put your thoughts out there into the public sphere, the worry that I have is that a lot of what I say is just me thinking out loud. It's never always my final thought. I may or may not be super attached to the idea. Like, my mind is going to change as time goes on. There's this really weird sentiment that public figures aren't supposed to make any mistakes. It's like a really weird thing because you don't hold anything else to that standard. Like, if you held your friends to the same standard that you hold public figures to, you would not have any friends because nobody would want to be friends with you. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't hold public figures to some sort of standard, especially a lot of the garbage people who are public figures now. But it really, you kind of have to look beneath the surface and see intent and the actual quality of the person, and seeing that the way they think or the things that they do, they can be temporary or they can be mistakes. You know what I mean? The only point of this is that sometimes I'll have like a thought and I'll want to talk about it, and usually I'll just talk about it. But sometimes I'm like, I don't want to put that out there, and then have people like misconstrue it, or later on be like, oh, but you said this. I was like, yeah, I said that before, but I changed my mind. The weird boner that people have for consistency and people saying things, it's like, yes, you want people to be relatively consistent, but you also have to realize that maybe they changed their mind or they grew and adapted and evolved at some point. Anyways, time for a bike ride. let's go do it. I need my phone. Where's my phone?
Urban legend or something.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, like I talk all the time about how I just live vicariously. Oh, my lens is here. I can see the
how
UPS
exciting.
truck. Woohoo! Hold on.
He's looking at the lens. Ooh, it's important. You got to get a signature. Well, unbox it.
Okay, so this is, it will take some explaining. Each type of camera has a different lens mount, and they're not compatible with each other. My camera has the ability you can use a lot of different lenses if you get this little thing called a speed booster. Point is, I used to have one of these, and what it lets you do is use Canon lenses, and Canon lenses are much more common. And I stopped using it because I don't like using adapters generally, because sometimes some features will be a little bit slower, autofocus won't be as good, that type of stuff. Recently, I planned to get a new lens. That one's still coming, but people were talking online about how this is actually a better value if you use this adapter and use this lens instead, which this is a legendary lens. Sigma 18-35, which is, I don't want to get too much in the weeds. Basically, I want to try this combination out, even though it's with an adapter, and I don't like using adapters. And it would also be significantly cheaper than this other new lens that I might be getting.
Check this out. This was an impulse purchase on eBay, but it was a very cheap impulse purchase. It is Tengai Makyo 4 The Apocalypse. This is a Saturn JRPG very much in the style of Earthbound. It was never released in the US, so it's Japanese only. My Japanese skills are not probably up to snuff to actually be able to play this and understand everything. It was less than 10 bucks on eBay, and I was like, ooh. Lately I've really been into the Saturn anyway, so I was like, let me go ahead and just get some random Saturn games for like 5 bucks. On another note, this is the lens I normally use for my Panasonic GH5. It's the 12-35 f2.8. It looks like this. And I've been waiting for a new Panasonic lens called the 10-25 f1.7. Basically what this lets you do is shoot in really dark environments, have a nice blurred background, and also be able to have a wide shot and a nice zoomed in shot as well. Now, I've known about this lens combo for a long time. It's like a legendary lens combo, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try this again before I drop $1,800 on another lens just because it's specifically made for the Panasonic. And I mean, you're getting some darn near full frame levels of background blur and like shallow depth of field. This is a pretty nice combination. And I mostly just want to use it for vlogs anyway, so like having the adapter is not such a big deal as long as I'm not out in the wild. That's the thing, man, there's so many trade-offs that you have to make in any field, but especially when it comes to cameras. I mean, this lens that I'm using right now, this Sigma, it's fantastic, but it's also gigantic. Look how small this lens that I normally use is. And this one's only 10 ounces. Do you know how heavy this lens is? I don't either, let's find out. This is 2 pounds. 2 pounds! This lens is just not feasible for using in most scenarios that I need to use a lens in. Like for the vlog, perfect, fantastic. But for any type of Adventure Archive stuff, in fact, that 10-25 Panasonic, that's not gonna be useful for Adventure Archives either. It's like that slightly more shallow depth of field. You can't look at anything in a vacuum. It's all, you gotta consider how you're actually gonna use it. What are the trade-offs and the benefits? Is the benefit of having a slightly shallower depth of field worth it when you have to carry around a 2-pound, very top-heavy lens on this tiny tripod out in the wild where you're probably gonna break it? Probably want this guy right here. Like as an adventure lens, I don't think it gets better than this, actually. But now, I haven't looked at this footage on the full screen yet, so maybe all of that'll go out the window and be like, man, we need to have this lens at all times. Okay, well, holy bejesus at this lens. Because that's the thing, if it looks good enough, I will bend pretty far over backwards to make it a reality. Oh my goodness. That is a nice looking lens. Very shallow depth of field, reasonable enough autofocus performance that I can actually do touchscreen focus. I don't know, that Panasonic's gonna have to be pretty nice for me to actually keep it. Wow, Maui wowie.
Well, I bought a used lens and maybe this one's no good because Look at how the focusing is not even. Everything should be in focus in a straight line, and instead it's like a line like this. That's really weird, dude.
Anyway, this is a perfect example of why I don't like using lens adapters, because now I don't know if the problem was with the lens or with the adapter. Fortunately, they're both used, so maybe there was a problem with them in the beginning, but like, I should be in focus the entire time from left to right. With the native lens, you know if there's a problem, it's just the lens. And you don't have to like mess with the back focus and, you know, other than that, man, nice lens. You know, maybe I'm not giving myself quite enough credit though, because I played through the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 2 in Japanese, and I understood it about as well as I did in English, which is to say, not that much. So unless this game gets super esoteric and super weird, I don't think I should have any problem playing all the way through it. Question is, will I actually play all the way through it? That is much less likely. Wow, I don't know how the rest of the game's gonna be, but that is a heck of an intro, dude. Oh, and those graphics. Wow, super digging it so far. Gorgeous graphics, great music, and look how weird this is. It's based in America, but look at this map. This is Texas, Minnesota, Alaska, Montana, California, Mexico, Arizona, Michigan, New York, Florida. This right here is Chicago. That is so awesome. It's like a JRPG's take on what America would be like. Oh, and this level of Japanese, no problem. I can play through this entire game. Okay, that's gonna do it for today's vlog though. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. But they're probably up to snuff enough for me to actually be able to play it.